All of these polygons. 12:15, the new tornado warning. This is going to include Johnson County, as we were worried about. It does include some of Marshall County, but it does not include Medill. If you're in Medill right now, there are not storms where you are. That doesn't mean you're in the clear overnight. It just means short term. There are not currently storms over Medill, but this is going to include a little sliver of northwestern Medill. This is including most of Johnston County. It does not include Tishomingo at this time, but this is the area of circulation that we know confirmation we have a tornado active on the ground right now. That's what these darker polygons mean, that we have confirmation that this is touching down, and this is going to be right here at the Marshall County, the Carter County, the Johnston County line, traveling to the north and the northeast. So when we can, let's go ahead and put a track on this, Hunter. Let's time it out and read me any specs we have with this tornado warning.
All right, so this tornado warning going until 12:15. This tornado and the whole system itself is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. The track on it is right here. We have it at 11:44 going towards the stables at Washita Farms. Goddard Ranch at 11:53. Turning the clock towards Sunday, 12:01 a.m. Mill Creek Limestone, the Mill Creek High School at 12:06. The same thing for the Mill Creek School, 12:21 at Blue Church and Connorville by around 12:22. I know we're talking about this right now, but we have more reports. So this is from Sulfur. A lot of reports coming from Sulfur. The Artisan Hotel there in Sulfur is on fire. The snack shack has collapsed with one person inside. Mandy.
Okay, so people continue to be trapped tonight in Sulfur. We're going to work on getting more information with that. But unfortunately, if you're in Sulfur, you are still in the line with all of these thunderstorms. We have several active tornado warnings still in place here. Come 11:45, this should clean up a little bit, but you can see we have at least 5 or 6 polygons right over here, and it just looks messy. Okay, let's punch up reflectivity, see if we can kind of help get a good picture. If we have tornadoes, they're embedded. We know we have tornadoes, and they are rain-wrapped, and they're going to be somewhere between Sulfur and Lake Murray. Ardmore right now is seeing some lighter rain. I-35. Okay, so our reporter Lincoln Revel is reporting the south side of Ardmore is completely without power. His block is without power. Okay, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that. A lot of folks I know without power here for tonight. Flooding continues to be a concern. Zoom on out a little bit more for me, Hunter. We're going to give everyone a big picture here. We have a little notch in this. This is becoming a bit of a messy line, but this right here, this concerns me. This is going to be with that confirmed tornado. Zoom on in there for me, Hunter. This is going to be an inflow notch. It's going to be pulling all this warm, moist air into this storm. You can see the arrow drawn there. This is going to be where the turning is. This is the tornado. It's going to be right here. We know this is confirmed on the ground right now. This is going to be a large and damaging tornado that's traveling off to the northeast. This may skirt past Tishomingo, but this is coming into Johnston County tonight. It's missing Medill, but we are seeing a very healthy inflow with this thunderstorm. And this right here is going to be that main area of rotation. So this is now to the north and northeast of Lake Murray. And let's draw a ruler tool here, Hunter, because this is only a couple miles, I think, maybe 10 to 20 miles away. About 13 miles away from Tishomingo. So if this takes a hard right, this is going to be moving straight into Tishomingo. If this stays on the northerly and northeasterly track, it's going to miss the city, but come into Mill Creek and other folks there in Johnston County. Let's do another track on this, Hunter. I want to make sure we're continuing to give folks an update with this lead time with how things are trending. You can see that velocity couplet is right here. This is really messy. That's just really messy, but this is the velocity couplet traveling to the northeast. When you can, let's go ahead and read that track out.
Yeah, so right now it is directly over the stables at Washita Farms, Goddard Ranch at 11:51. As we go in towards Sunday, Mill Creek Limestone, you're going to be under the potential threat for this tornado. 12:05 for Mill Creek High School near Connorville at 12:21. The Sunshine Church at 12:29 and Hickory Hill Baptist Church at 12:34. And we do have a newly issued tornado warning. This extends way down near the Red River, so we might have another circulation moving in here from Texas. I'm not really seeing much, so I guess our shear rate will have to be picked up on that in just a little bit.
For which one? This is a new warning?
Yeah, for Marietta.
Okay, pull up reflectivity for me. Okay, so these are going to be the same cells
Okay.
moving in. This is what we've seen all day today. They just move in from the south. So far in Texas, they've not gone tornadic in Texas, but they move north of the Red River, and it's like clockwork. They're just going tornadic. So, okay, we have this newly issued tornado warning. This old one, why is that there? Is that that's been there for, it seems, way too long.
Let's see when it expires. So it's expiring
Okay,
in
so
1
that
minute.
should expire here soon. So that'll clear up that a little bit too. But okay, so newly issued tornado warning. This again includes Lake Murray. This is going to include Marietta. This is going to be for the same areas that already have this active tornado. So we have one tornado moving into Johnson County. We have another tornado on the heels right over I-35 that's going to be traveling to the north and the northeast there, and a lot of heavy rainfall. This is starting to get real. It was already messy, but this is starting to get incredibly messy. This is going to be all rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see what's happening. Do we have, these are all just tornado warnings. We don't have any hail with these, right? We don't, because I don't think we have any severe thunderstorm warnings either.
Upwards of $50, maybe golf balls, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hail cores seem to not be as much of an issue as the tornado threat short term, but yeah, embedded circulation. So let's zoom back on in to I-35. There's this newly issued tornado warning. This again includes Lake Murray, but this is going to be crossing right over I-35, going to be hitting the Greenville School if this touches down, moving again to Tugger Tower, Lake Murray, Murray Harbor. And we have a video coming in, Kings Road. We're going to get that in Ardmore. Okay, so we're working on that Ardmore video. This is going to be looking off to the southeast from Robert. Thanks so much for sending this in. The tornado is likely right here. How often, when was this taken, guys? Okay, so this was around 11:10. Right here is the tornado. You can see it illuminating with the lightning, but it's right here is that tornado. And yeah, this was about 35 minutes ago when that was taken, but there's that tornado that moved through Ardmore again earlier today. We've seen at least 3 to 4 tornadoes now move through Ardmore. We've seen a lot of tornadoes headed through Doherty, through Sulfur. They've moved into Pontotoc County. And right now we're going to continue to keep a close eye on these as they move on through. Right there looks like that's a tornado. Right there.
Yep. Right there.
Okay, so that's the confirmed tornado. We have the CC drop. We have the debris signature. This is, again, we believe that Ardmore Municipal Airport has already been hit once tonight. This is going to be probably staying mainly east of that, but traveling off to the east and the northeast there. Let's put a track on that, and then when y'all can, if Amber, you want to switch out with Hunter, we'll have him go to more some of the damage reports and stuff coming in with that. What's up in Pontotoc County? Go up there real quick for me, Hunter. Is this another CC drop? Do we have another tornado?
Possibly.
Can you pull up velocity? May be messy, but let's see what we can get to confirm. That's not helpful.
Hardin City.
Pull up reflectivity again real quick for me. We may have another confirmed tornado here. There's a little bit of an inflow notch. We're going to have to watch this. I think this may be another TDS or a tornado debris signature. Zoom on out again. I want to see what polygons we have where. Okay, so that. Okay, so north side of Ardmore we know is also without power. Safe to say most of these folks are going to be without power today. It looks like Ada at this time is not under a tornado warning. Those other ones have been canceled. The main tornado warnings are extending from Marietta through Ardmore, basically west of Tishomingo, coming through Sulfur, and then very southern Pontotoc County. It's the swath right here from the Red River, basically to southern Pontotoc County, that we're seeing this line of thunderstorms moving through, producing tornadoes. Now, we are going to be seeing, if you're in Ardmore, you're going to start to see some very heavy rain moving slowly over the next, I would say, 1 to 2 hours because of how slow this line is moving. This out here is not severe. It could produce tornadoes. It's severe out west near Graham. That's going to be several hours before that moves on in. But we're going to see this line moving in, taking place. We can have some embedded tornadoes along this line as it pushes through. Right now, the biggest tornado threat is these isolated cells ahead of the line because those are largely undisturbed by the line. Once you commit to the line, you're kind of stuck in there, and it's going to be Still a chance for tornadoes, but they're probably not going to be nearly as strong and violent as we've been seeing so far tonight. But this is what's coming. This is that overnight round that we've been warning about that we're seeing materialize. So heavy rainfall is going to be moving into Ardmore. You're already without power. You're going to get more rain coming on through. Okay, any updates?
Yes, so that tornado is continuing southeast of Gene Autry, and with their radar operator there in National Weather Service, the Norman office, they believe there's a new tornado that could be emerging east of the previous tornado that is northwest of Mansville. So that was right near Dixon. And our shear
Mansville
rates,
should be Johnson County.
yeah, it's going to be right there.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're live on the air tracking these tornadoes. Tell me what you're seeing here in Carter County. For those at home, we have the Carter County Emergency Manager, Chris Bryant, on the phone with us. Chris.
Actually, I'm the Carter County Sheriff,
Oh,
not the
Sheriff,
Emergency
sorry.
Manager.
Okay, Carter County
Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, Chris Bryant, sorry about that. We have you on the phone. Tell us what you've seen. I know we've heard a lot of damage coming in from Ardmore.
Well, we've had a neighborhood that was significantly damaged by wind and rain, got several trees down. We do have emergency personnel out looking, checking on people and making sure structures are okay. But we still have these several bands coming in behind it, so everybody is taking emergency precautions.
And what kind of damage have you seen or heard about so far?
Well, what we've had is we've had some houses damaged. We've had some structures damaged. So, and significant amount of trees down. So, yes, ma'am.
And where would you say that damage is confined? I know we've had several rounds. Is it north side, south side? What part of Ardmore are we talking?
It's going to be kind of the central north area, or not central, I'm sorry, central south central area, around the Plainview area.
And what about injuries? Have we heard anything about that? Fatalities?
Have not heard of injuries, thank God. So we are checking and double checking with things and people and trying to make sure that everybody is safe. And we continue to watch the storms, and thank you all very much for reporting on it and keeping us aware of what's up in front of us.
Well, thank you so much. Again, that's the Carter County Sheriff, Chris Bryant. He's there in Ardmore, and he'll, I'm sure, continue to send us some updates as he has them. As you've heard, we're not done with storms yet. We're still going. There is a flash flood warning. They're still in place for Ardmore. We also have about half the city under a current tornado warning. That so far, at least the new warning, has not been confirmed. We know there is an active tornado now moving near Mansville and then into Johnson County. So this is going to be the west side of the county. Here's the inflow notch. The tornado is going to be back about right here. We want to go ahead and zoom on in there, Hunter, show everyone that velocity signature that we're watching. It's going to be right here. I know this is very messy, but right there is going to be the velocity signature. So this is north of the stables at Washita Farms. Some of these roads, okay, this is going to be due east of Ardmore Municipal Airport. Here's Seven Sisters Hills Road. It's going to be a bit east of that. Zoom on out a little bit more for me, Hunter, and we can also look north some at this. Zoom back in. Sorry, I need to see some of these roads and cities as we can. Here's Daub Ranch Road. There's West Amos Conley Road. Here's Mill Creek Limestone. This is going to be traveling through there. Here's Pennington Creek Hunting Club. There's the Tishomingo National Fish Hatchery. This is where we had some damage reported earlier, okay? So this storm is going to be basically on the heels of where we also had reports of, I believe it was roofs damaged from that initial storm earlier today. So this is going to be on the heels. There's Mill Creek High School. This is main area of circulation, and what we've heard is a confirmed tornado on the ground is going to be traveling through there right now. Any updates, guys?
From the Carter County Emergency Manager, he is saying all of Ardmore is without power right now. The Emergency Management Office is currently running on battery backup, but they will likely not be able to communicate much longer as soon as they lose power. Another thing is right near the Love-Carter County line, there is a strong indication of a tornado, so it's pretty much right over Lake Murray. So you can see that very strong kind of rotation right here. And if I can get a query on the winds, they are still upwards of 90 to even 100 miles per hour, Mandy.
Yeah, and we're getting some video in. This is about 2 hours old, but we can show you kind of what has moved on through. This is coming in from Doug Drace from Ardmore. And we're going to watch this for a second and see if we have either some damage or possible sighting. And near the Bus Buy warehouse is where this is. Again, this is about 2 hours old.
Tornado on the ground.
Yeah, you can see the tornado in the center of the screen. There you go.
Right there
Yep.
is where he's talking. Again, this was about 2 hours ago coming into Ardmore. You can see, look how big that is right there with the lightning. Power flash, there you go, right there. So this is what has traveled through Ardmore, largely why many of you have been without power, but that very large tornado, we've seen several of them move on through so far today. Okay, so shear marker's still there. That is quickly traveling north and the northeast. Zoom on out a little bit more for me. I want to see where we're at with these thunderstorms. It looks like we have this main cell that's continuing this northeasterly track. Hopefully this pushes east a little bit, kind of gives some folks a break, but we also don't want it to move into more folks. We don't want more damage. Unfortunately, it does look like it's kind of moving on this easterly path heading into tonight. We've got a lot of spin along the line. You can see even through Pontotoc County, we're getting some of these shear markers. We may start trending towards, instead of this embedded supercell threat with these supercell tornadoes, this may trend more to what we call QLCS tornado threat, or quasi-linear convective system. A lot of words that basically means brief spin-up tornadoes could be embedded with the leaning line as it moves on through, because we have a lot of shear. So it's not going to take much when that line moves in to really get some more stuff going. So we may be transitioning more towards that. A little early to tell, but we're not completely done with that embedded supercell threat. That is still actively ongoing here. And we have the confirmed tornado tag on these warnings there into Johnston County. Any more updates, damage, anything, Hunter?
So one update, I'm going to take the polygons off here real quick. So you could see that one track going straight through Ardmore with the blues right there. That continues onward. But you have this new kind of shear marker that's starting to show up in far western Johnston County. That is a potentially new tornado that could be spinning up here and reaching the ground. So I'm assuming that's why they are keeping this confirmed tornado tag warning on, going all the way through Johnston County, portions of Carter, Murray, and eventually Pontotoc County. That's pretty much all I have from the National Weather Service right now.
And that one is going to be the Mansville one, correct? That we were talking about? I believe that's going to be close to Mansville. Okay, so let's put a track on this, go northeast. Anything behind it isn't necessarily in the clear, but right now it seems like it's this main one swath that we're watching going forwards heading into tonight. Let's go ahead and read this out. Goddard Ranch at midnight. Mill Creek Limestone there at 12:09, so 9 minutes after midnight. 12:14 Mill Creek High School. This is time of arrival again for this tornado to push on through. Pennington Church at 12:15. Pontotoc at 12:34 a.m. McLish School at 12:45, and then Shiloh Ranch there at 12:47 a.m. So this is if this tornado is on the ground, this is the time of arrival going forwards. What we're looking for, you notice the shear markers everywhere, very messy. Obviously, we've had several tornadoes cross over the same spot. We're hoping this stays on the weak side. It's still a problem when it's weak, but we don't want it on the strong side. So we are going to be watching that shear marker. You see the new shear marker there, maybe making a little bit more of a northerly trend. Still on the weak side. We're looking for not the blues. We don't want the purples. That's going to be showing some stronger indications of rotation ramping up with this as these storms move on through. So the latest scans, we are going to be watching for that. And let's touch base too on the flooding threat. We haven't talked about that as much. Hunter, when we can, let's query the flash flood warning and also talk about how much radar estimates usually run a little high. We can also verify with the Oklahoma Mesonet with what we're seeing here. But a lot of this rainfall has fallen from Sulfur and then down there into Carter County. Hunter.
Yeah, so these are radar estimates. As Mandy said, they do run a little bit high, but this kind of helps us generally fill the gap between the Oklahoma Mesonet stations, and that allows us to kind of get a good first best guess at what has fallen already. So around 7 to 8 inches of rain now in northern Carter County, Murray County too. If we put on the warning here, we can see if there has been any update to this flash flood warning. It goes still until 2:45 in the morning, still saying around 2 to 3 inches of rain, but this was as of 10:45 p.m. So a lot more rain could have fallen between then, but upwards of 4 to 6 inches of rain. I can look up our rainfall so far over the past 24 hours, and we'll see how much we have at some Oklahoma Mesonet stations. As soon as it loads, we have around, come on, load for me. There you go. 3.93 inches in Sulfur.
Yeah, and the Ardmore site isn't even registering, so that's showing that there's so much rain it can't handle it. But yeah, almost 4 inches of rain in Sulfur. Duncan, I would suspect south of that, probably where a site is not. They got way more than that. But yeah, we're talking 2 to 3 to 4 inches of rain just since about 8 o'clock. Is about when we started going with these. So in the last 4 hours, we picked up about an inch of rain an hour. That's going to cause flooding. And this is going to push east heading into the overnight. There we go, an update. Now over 4 inches of rain there in Sulfur. 4.2 inches of rain has fallen. Okay, Hunter, I'm going to have you take over for a second.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
All right, so new update from the National Weather Service. They're still watching that circulation that was in far western Johnston County. Right now, if we radar, or I should say velocity is still very messy, but if we look at shear rate, that's been the best thing we've had so far. You can see the colors starting to get a little bit brighter there. We were looking at just around 5 minutes ago. This is right near Dobb Ranch Road near Mill Creek Dolomite. That's where we're watching the potential for a significant tornado on the ground right there. Circulation might be coming close to Mill Creek. That's currently what the National Weather Service is thinking at this time. That is the main thing that we are going to be watching. But looking at wide scale, just all in general, the whole region, what we've had so far. Currently, we have, it appears to be one confirmed tornado warning for that Mill Creek storm, that tornado that could be making its way into Mill Creek, with the potential for this considerable tornado right here. And they are going to be, the National Weather Service, adding a considerable damage tag to this warning southwest of Mill Creek. That's where that circulation is located. You can clearly see, if I back up the scans here just by a little bit, that inflow notch that we've been talking about for quite some time, just right there along the Marshall-Johnston County line. If I put a little arrow on it right here, you can see right there, that's where all that warm, moist air is being fed into the system, and that is what is allowing us to see the potential for this tornado to survive and thrive for a long amount of time, going to the north and northeast. Thankfully missing Tishomingo, but still it is possibly on the ground with a confirmed tag, considerable tag on this tornado warning that extends all the way up to the north into Pontotoc County. Shear rates still having that little storm, that little tornado right there. It's been a bit messy. Of course, there's a lot of shear all throughout here, but if I circle it, this is what we're watching right here. That's the tornado potentially making it towards the ground right near Howell Road, South Dobb Ranch Road, kind of making more of a northerly turn here. So that might be taking a track into around that Murray-Johnston County line. But anything from the National Weather Service hasn't been coming in ever since that considerable damage tag has been added in terms of, there it goes, there's the new update with this warning. Reading off the specs where it goes until 12:15 in the morning. It is still a particularly dangerous situation. Any locations within this, it's generally going to be north of Mansville, approaching Mill Creek. So if you are anywhere within this polygon still, make sure you are taking cover, because this whole thing into tonight is going to be very active. We've had multiple confirmed tornadoes on the ground causing damage, especially in Sulfur. People are trapped in Sulfur still. That's why there are search and rescue teams making their way there. So even if you're not within a tornado warning, still keep an eye on the weather, because things are going to be changing all throughout the night. We have this line of storms out towards the west, which is generally non-severe, which is very good news. It is severe down towards the south near Graham in North Texas, west of the DFW Metroplex. But this is pushing eastward, just like some of our model data had yesterday and today. It is confirming, it is verifying that we have a lot of heavy rain pushing on eastward, and it's just going to keep on going until it eventually loses steam, and that won't be happening for quite some time until early Sunday morning, and possibly having some redevelopment in towards Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So this event is far from over, and as we head in towards tonight, that's going to be a huge concern. Heavy rain, flash flooding, all the hazards, damaging winds, large hail, and even some tornadoes that could go long track like some of them have gone today. That is the big thing that we are watching, but still having 2 tornado warnings, 1 confirmed, 1 radar indicated, that is south generally of that confirmed tornado warning. If we put on shear rates, you can see that tornado right there tracked right over Lake Murray, still moving towards generally the east and northeast, but still something that we are very closely monitoring as we head throughout the next several hours. Still not receiving anything new from the National Weather Service, so we'll just have to wait on that. But all in all, just keep your head on a swivel. That's the name of the game as we head in towards the early morning hours of our Sunday. It is 12:05 in the morning, so that is going to be the start of a very, very long night for everybody here at the KTEN weather team and at the KTEN studios. In terms of velocity, still holding on, mainly north and east of Mill Creek High School there. Still very messy, so it's not really the best data that we are going to be pulling in from here, but everything generally is going to be embedded within all of these storms as they continue moving generally towards the north and northeast. Highway 377, anywhere in southern Pontotoc County, northern Johnston County, you will be under the gun here soon. If you know anybody who lives here near Connerville, Pontotoc, eventually extending, if they do extend this tornado warning, even if they don't, you should still be weary. Hardin City, Mary's Barn, Shiloh Ranch, out in southern Pontotoc County, that's where you're going to be watching the potential for this tornado to make its way through. Near Ruse Landing Strip, East 1720 Road, Chisholm Road in far northern Johnston County, far southern Johnston County, County Road 3500. You're within that confirmed tornado warning. We are continuing to monitor this, but in terms of anything on the ground, and then in terms of our correlation coefficient debris tracker, I'm not really seeing much, so that's still good news. Shows that the tornado isn't on the ground, it's not confirmed, but still, you're going to want to keep on watching KTEN as we head in towards the next several hours until early Sunday morning, because anything can happen at this point. This is a very, very untapped atmosphere at this time. The further east you go, even if it's nighttime, we're still having tornadoes develop. So it's still going to be a long night ahead, no matter where you are. Everybody's going to be seeing rain eventually, upwards of around maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain could be possible. Already 4 inches falling there in Sulfur, and a lot more on the way as a very slow moving line of storms continues pushing on through the western counties, mainly I-35 at this time. But as we head into, say, the next several hours, that will be pushing further in towards south central Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma. Eventually, North Texas will be getting in on the quote-unquote party here out towards Monte County. You're starting to see some rain, but this is all going to be moving in eventually towards US 69 and 75 and onwards past east of that. So it's still something that we're going to keep you well aware of heading in towards tonight and early Sunday. But as of right now, I think our biggest concern is in northern Johnston County. Even though our velocity data is pretty bad, I think that's where our current kind of major concern is at this time in northern Johnston County, and eventually in towards southern Pontotoc County. It will continue pushing up towards the east and northeast. Latest from the National Weather Service, the circulation that we've been watching southeast of Mill Creek is broadening, as we kind of see right here. Of course, the pixels are kind of all over the place, but you have this huge broadened circulation. So that's very good. I mean, with broad circulations, that shows that generally it's not the strongest of storms. Obviously, it's still rotating, but it's when you get those really tight couplets, when the reds and the greens on our velocity kind of graph model data set are really tight together, they're right next to each other. That's when you typically see very strong couplet and the potential for a tornado that could be imminent and reaching towards the ground. But other than that, that's I think, the biggest concern we have right now. In terms of our warnings, both of them at least, the confirmed one that is extending in towards Pontotoc County, that still goes until 12:15. So we have another 6 minutes on this warning right now. The one that is south of it goes until, and it does include just north of Lake Murray, that also goes until 12:15. So we'll just have to wait another 6 minutes here, and then that's when potentially these warnings will be expired, but of course they can be extended with great ease, and that will possibly happen here, but there has been no word of an extension just yet. From the National Weather Service in Norman, the circulation just north of Dixon is just north of Dixon is strengthening. They are going to be upping the tag for this warning to considerable damage. So that's another tornado that we're going to have to possibly watch here. The circulation is right there. As I was just talking about, the reds and the greens, or in this case, kind of the pinks, purple, and the blue, they're right next to each other. That shows that it's a very tight circulation. That's something that is going to possibly become an issue here. It's right near Ponderosa Road, Fernwood Road, Lone Cedar Road, right along US 177, I believe that is, 177, right near that Johnston County line with Murray County. That's that main circulation that the National Weather Service is watching at this time, and what we are going to keep an eye on. If I track it out for you here, going towards Mill Creek. 12:14, we have said this place a lot. The stables at Washita Farms, you are going to be once again under the gun for this tornado to come through. 12:16, once again, a location we have said multiple times, the Ardmore Municipal Airport, Nebo at 12:24, Mill Creek Limestone, Mill Creek Tree Nursery at 12:29 and 12:40, respectively, Ruse Landing Strip at 12:46, and Scullin at the same time, 12:46 for our Sunday morning. That is pretty much all I have at this time for you, Mandy.
Okay, so zoom back out for me. Again, we're going to look at reflectivity and see what we're looking at, and also check our Texas counties to see what the plan is with that. Okay, so now the line is starting to move in and take over, and we're seeing both of these kind of get combined here. So we should start to see a transition to some of a straight line wind event later on tonight as this line really starts to get going. We also have this tornado warning still active, like Hunter's been talking about, for some of Carter County, some of Johnston County, some of Marshall County, and then that is going to be moving kind of with the line. So we'll see this take over and eventually move a little bit more east than north, but the flooding threat is going to start to ramp up with these heading into the overnight. And we're also starting to see some more rain building in here for our Texas counties as a few more showers start building in there as well. Okay, so keep me up to date here, Hunter. We have this 1-2 tornado warnings here. Let's zoom on in real quick and go over some of the times with these. This one is still confirmed on the ground. Is that correct?
It is, yes, yes.
Okay, so let's punch up either velocity or shear rate, whichever one looks better, because this is going to be embedded with all of that. I suspect it's about right here.
Yes.
that's due south and southeast of Ardmore Municipal Airport. The stables at Washita Farms also going to be moving off to the north and the northeast with this main circulation. That Mill Creek limestone would be in the path of this, as well as Pennington Creek Hunting Club and Mill Creek High School downstream as that pushes off to the north and the northeast. Tishomingo is not currently in this tornado warning. Here's 377 there as this travels north-south road there, but we are continuing to see this shear rate building in with this next round as it's moving on through, and at times pretty significant shear markers with that one. This would travel into Pontotoc County and okay, so we have a video coming in. This is southwest of Lindsay, Oklahoma. This is, what time is this taken, guys? 11:40. Okay, so this was about 30 minutes ago. You see that lowering here, possibly even making contact with the ground with the lightning there off in the distance. And that is going to be one of the reasons why we still have so many tornado warnings for us today. So again, that earlier today, about 20 to 30 minutes ago, if we want to go ahead and go back to the maps and see everything with that newly issued tornado warning, this goes until 12:45 for Johnston and Pontotoc counties, and looks like we also have another confirmed tornado south of that. So when you can, Hunter, go ahead and read me the specs on what we're seeing.
Yes, so this radar indicated tornado warning, which includes far northern Johnston County and Pontotoc County, kind of south of Ada, going until 12:45 in the morning. It's a very messy radar scan in terms of that's a lot better right there. You can see the circulation kind of tightening up right here. If I can get my drawer tool, it's this circulation right on the county line, just north of the county line in Pontotoc County. That is moving towards the east, or I should say the north and northeast, right around 35 miles per hour. So that's going to be one thing we're going to watch. That is possibly going to be crossing Highway 177 US, or I should say Highway 377 there in Pontotoc County. Now going down south, we're going to have to go on shear rate here to see where this is located. Maybe not even shear rate. This is kind of a messy thing, but I guess you got a little bit of an inflow right here showing where this tornado is located. Let me get all these locations out of here, but right here is pretty much where the tornado is going to be located, right in there, because we got all the inflow coming in, warm, moist air mass, kind of untapped. That's pretty much the general location where this confirmed tornado is going to be, right near the stables at Washita Farms. This is the place that has been getting hit time and time again tonight, right in that sweet spot, right in between Ardmore Municipal Airport and the stables at Washita Farms. That is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground right now. Considerable damage, according to the National Weather Service in Norman. Mandy.
And that's going to be right here. That we are seeing that area of circulation. Again, training over the same area that's already seen these tornadoes moving through so far today. So that would be coming towards Mill Creek, and also some of Tishomingo could see this storm move on through depending on the exact path on this. But again, another confirmed tornado with this. The atmosphere not done just yet. We are starting to see all of this getting pretty messy with all of the heavy rainfall from Milo down to Wreck. They're seeing heavy rain in Carter County. This is the main line as it's evolving. We still have a couple of isolated cells out ahead of this main line. Those are going to be eaten up by this line, and now we're going to start to watch some embedded tornadoes, kind of spin up tornadoes, mainly out along the main edge of this as it continues moving through the heart of Texoma. So still a couple active tornado warnings ongoing. Ardmore down to Marietta, seeing that rain building on in, and so far we're starting to see some light showers also falling in Grayson County. The rain is coming for folks in Texas who haven't seen the rain so far just yet, but as a reminder, that tornado watch goes until 3 a.m. here for our Sunday morning, and we are expecting a downstream watch with this ongoing all the way through tomorrow morning. So storms still going to be possible for folks in Atoka, Antlers, Hugo, Paris, down over towards Bonham. We are going to be watching some of these light showers starting to build in, but we've got more thunderstorms that are going to be arriving heading into the overnight. But Ardmore to Marietta seeing very heavy rainfall, and then there in Johnston County, we're we're also continuing to see that active tornado threat. So let's zoom back on in here, Hunter, there on the west side of Johnston County, where we have this confirmed tornado. This is the inflow notch right there. It's going to be traveling to the north and the northeast. And with that, we'll be watching this storm activity ongoing. Here's the KTEN transmitter. So this is going to be getting close to our transmitter with this confirmed tornado, but that's going to be heading through Johnston County now, Carter County. This is going to be leaving Carter County. And then folks there in southern Pontotoc County need to keep an eye on this because this is going to be likely pretty rain wrapped. We still have a lot of warm air that we're able to be ingested through this storm as it moves slowly east and northeast. Do we have any updates coming in here from the National Weather Service, Hunter?
Nothing that I've seen so far other than our new tornado warning, that confirmed one there. But that has been the last thing that we've gotten from them. So it's just going to be a waiting game to see. Yeah, here we go. Circulation increasing near Central Homa. They're going to have a tornado warning coming out for that here very soon.
Okay, so this is now moving into Cole County. My guess is it's going to be this right here, that little notch. We're starting to see these brief spin-ups along the leading edge of the line there, and then Colgate itself may just be south of that as it moves on through. There's Panther Creek facility. Here's Bent Tree Farms. There's Rocking F Arena, and that tornado warning that we're waiting on is likely going to be covering some part of this part of Cole County. So now transitioning to some of these brief spin-up tornadoes that we're seeing, and just still waiting on the National Weather Service to issue that warning, but we do know that that is going to be coming. Let's zoom on out again. I want to make sure we're keeping an eye on this flooding threat because we do have this flash flood warning that is still in place for that line of thunderstorms. We have more out to the west, but so far doesn't look like we're seeing additional flash flood warnings except for that one over Ada. But this is still very concerning to me. That inflow notch there for the Johnston County storm with that tornado warning. And then do we have two new tornado warnings now here? This one coming into Ada, was that one there before?
It was, yes.
Okay, so that's blending in a bit. But let's take off real quick the radar. We'll just show you polygons so you can see who's in the warnings and who's not. This is tornado warning active, does not include Ada at this time. Here's the Cole County tornado warning there. That's going to be just to the north of Colgate, and then Tishomingo west of that, we're seeing that active tornado warning. And so these are traveling northeast. Let's zoom in on the Cole County warning. That's going to include areas north of Colgate. They're along 75, Panther Creek facility, Cars Drift Complex, Boiling Springs Church, Central Homa, and the Colgate gas plant. Hunter, let's read the specs with this.
Yep, so this tornado warning will be going through 12:45 on this early Sunday morning, including Cole and Hughes counties. I think it's mainly going to be this little notch right here. If I get my tool working here, my little squiggle, this right here. I think that's where it's going to be located. Right there, a little bit on the north side of the warning polygon, but it's just a little kink in the line, and that's all it can take for a tornado to really kind of spin up right along this line. And looking at velocity, you can kind of see the little bright greens right there just south of Boiling Springs Church. I think that's where it could be situated at.
Yeah, that's going to be the main area of rotation that we're watching with this. So basically due north of Central Homa and due east of 48. There's Lula Fire Department and Pleasant Hill Baptist Church that's going to stay out to the west. So folks along 75 and ahead of this going to have this is a little bit smaller than we've been seeing. So this is going to be more of that QLCS type that's starting to get embedded with this line as it's moving on through. Okay, zoom on out a little bit for me, Hunter. And we'll see what we are looking at here. So 3 active tornado warnings. And it's currently 12:21 a.m. We've got a long way to go. Let's go back to that Johnson County warning and see what we're looking at with that. I know this is kind of getting a little messy. The velocity couplet is just really not good. But this looks like it's right over Mill Creek High School, seeing that circulation. Have we got any updates coming in from Johnson County here?
Yes, their emergency manager just put in chat that the Mansville Fire Department has eyes on the tornado north of Mansville, multiple vortices north of Mansville right now.
Okay, so we have a multiple vortice tornado. Let's find Mansville and show everyone where that is. It should be this right here. That's the circulation, but just for bearings and whatnot, we can draw kind of a ruler tool and show you what we're seeing with that. Here's the Pennington Creek Hunting Club, a still very large tornado that's going to be on the ground here that we have eyes on, according to Johnson County EM there. And this is going to be tracking basically straight through an area that already saw storms earlier today from Mill Creek High School and over towards that Pennington Creek Hunting Club and the Tishomingo National Fish Hatchery. When we can, let's put a track out on this, continue to extend that into Pontotoc County. And then any updates as we get them, let's go ahead and read those out, Hunter.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on right here. Okay,
Maybe try shear rate and see if that is a little more helpful. This velocity product has been pretty contaminated. That's not helpful.
Not really.
Okay,
Okay,
let's go back to
Mansville.
reflectivity. Maybe that was probably going to be the best way for us to see it with what we have. This is going to be the inflow notch, so it's going to be right in here.
Or it's going to be Mansville. Okay, so Mansville is just east of Dixon. Let me get my bearings straight here. If we put velocity on, it's going to be right there.
They should be, if Mansville is here, they're looking north, they should see it in
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
See if we
Man,
can
this
query
is
some of
just
these.
very
This is
busy.
probably at least 90-mile-per-hour winds.
Ooh, wow. All right. What do we got?
But we do know that this is
70s.
confirmed active right now at this time with at least, 70-mile-per-hour winds there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, have they said
All right.
anything else? I know they said multi-vortex tornado
That's
with this
it.
confirmed on the ground. Still not a whole lot of information coming
Nope, not at all. That's all I got. That was from the emergency manager there in Johnston County.
in. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom on out a little bit. We can add the polygons back on to see everyone where that is. It looks like that warning is flashing. So they have trimmed this back some, but still includes a good chunk of Johnston County. Does not include Tishomingo proper. Here's Tishomingo and here's 377. But we also still are watching that confirmed tornado. It's going to be right in here. You can see that turn. We want to pause this and kind of slowly step through. This right here is what we're going to be watching. That's the confirmed tornado right there. This is going to be where the debris ball is going to be. We can punch up CC and see if we can get that TDS. Okay, so we're getting some video in from Ardmore earlier today. We'll go ahead and show you that from Doug Drace. This is going to be about 3 hours ago. Here's the tornado right here.
Jeez.
They're near Best Buy. Again, this is Ardmore, a very large tornado tracking through town. You can see right here, about 3 hours ago. This is the kind of tornadoes that we've been dealing with today. And this is a tornado outbreak. That's what this is currently. We've had several tornadoes touch down in the heart of Texoma, and Ardmore has been hit several times so far there tonight. Hunter?
No real significant information at this time, Mandy. Just the trimmed back tornado warning that has a confirmed tag on it for portions of Johnston and Murray counties, now going through 1 a.m. So I guess they extended the time on this just a little bit, but no real clear signs, I would say, on our debris tracker in terms of shear rate. It's going to be messy no matter what. Yeah, that's just not going to be anything. In terms of
It's
hail,
hard when you
hasn't
get
really
the
been
tornadoes over the
anything.
same area over and over again.
Yeah.
And at some point here, Hunter, we're going to need to send you home so you can also
Prepare
take
for
over tomorrow morning when we have that tomorrow. But Amber's in, and so they can kind of switch out here tonight as we continue tracking these thunderstorms, these active tornadoes. The velocity product has been very messy for us recently, so we can go ahead and punch up reflectivity back here and add those polygons back up. But if you are just joining us, we have several active tornado warnings, one in Cole County. We have a very large tornado ongoing right now in Johnston County. This is going to be tracking into Pontotoc County. We're seeing more rain spreading in with these thunderstorms, especially near Tishomingo. South of that, Lake Texoma starting to see additional additional rainfall, and we'll have to watch these showers as they're building out ahead of this main line to see kind of what they do going forwards heading into the overnight. It might just kind of mess up the line, or we'll have to watch and see if they develop into any isolated cells out ahead of this main line. But Sulfur is still under this flash flood warning. Lake of the Arbuckles is also still under this flash flood warning. Ardmore remains with that flooding threat. We've got more storms continuing to build in here from the south. And when y'all are ready, we'll touch base on this Cole County tornado warning that has been fairly newly issued for some embedded stuff along the edge of the line. Amber.